The summer had brought a sense of uneasy calm over the ranch, but with Karen and her HOA cronies, calm is always a prelude to chaos. This time, the intruders had set their sights on my barn, the central hub of my operations, storage for machinery, feed, and some of my most valuable livestock. Karen, with her usual flair for dramatic incompetence, had convinced herself that occupying the barn for a community party would somehow legitimize her control over the property. She arrived with Donut and 3 volunteers, all carrying crates of cheap decorations, speakers, and, inexplicably, a karaoke machine. They marched into my barn with a sense of entitlement usually reserved for royalty, unaware of the meticulous planning that had gone into securing the property against exactly this type of intrusion. From the moment they stepped inside, the barn's security system detected motion, temperature, and weight anomalies, instantly alerting me via my phone. I activated the first layer, the automated locking mechanisms that trapped all intruders inside. Doors, windows, and even the barn's side gates clicked shut simultaneously, cutting off any potential escape route. Karen screamed, flailing at the padlock as if sheer panic could override steel and reinforced timber. Donut tripped over a hay bale, sprawling across a pile of feed sacks, and the volunteers scrambled in every direction, trying to find an exit. I knew that force alone wasn't necessary. Precision and psychological advantage would do the rest. I remotely activated the barn's livestock deterrent system, which was harmless but designed to intimidate. Slowly, the protective bulls, each weighing well over 1,000 pounds and trained to respond only to my commands, were guided into areas visible to the intruders. The sound of hooves stomping, combined with the low, threatening bellows of the herd, caused immediate panic. Karen shrieked, trying to wave her arms to appear in control, while Donut attempted to take charge by picking up a broom, only to have it knocked from his hands by the sudden movement of the floor-mounted safety mechanisms I had installed years earlier. The volunteers screamed in unison, running into one another as they attempted to escape, only to trigger motion-activated sprinklers, which drenched them from head to toe. Their karaoke machine short-circuited spectacularly, popping and sparking harmlessly but loud enough to add to the chaos. I walked into the barn calmly, surveying the scene with a detached amusement. Karen froze mid-scream when she realized that my K-9-unit Titan was now calmly patrolling the entry points, his eyes locked on the intruders, ready to react at the first sign of real threat. Donut, soaked and humiliated, tried desperately to negotiate. We're just celebrating, he stammered. I raised an eyebrow. Celebrating on private property without permission. Trespassing. Interfering with livestock. Illegal party. The volunteers collectively slumped in defeat. I radioed my son, who had been monitoring everything remotely from the dispatcher console, instructing him to coordinate with the sheriff. Within minutes, law enforcement arrived. They assessed the situation with visible disbelief at the level of incompetence on display. Adults trapped in a barn, soaked by sprinklers, flailing in mud and feed, surrounded by a herd of bulls that could, if provoked, make short work of anyone foolish enough to get too close. Karen tried to film the officers to claim victimhood, but the security cameras automatically uploaded all footage to my cloud server, creating an indisputable record of her trespass and the chaos she caused. The officers, after securing the intruders, issued citations for trespassing, animal endangerment, and property interference. Karen's face turned red with rage and embarrassment. Donut whined about unfair treatment, and the volunteers quietly accepted their defeat, muttering apologies as they were escorted off the property. By the time the dust settled, the barn was completely secure, the intruders humiliated, and my family safe. I deactivated the automated systems, ensuring that no harm had come to anyone but the pride of those who had foolishly attempted to assert authority where none existed. My daughter laughed from the loft, sipping lemonade, while Titan lay in the shadows, calm and watchful. I reflected on the event, recognizing that the HOA, Karen, and their minions would never learn. Each attempt at chaos only revealed their incompetence, their hubris, and the absolute necessity of preparation, planning, and a well-trained team. And as I watched the sun set over the ranch, painting the sky in golds and reds, I realized one thing. Any future attempts to occupy my property would meet the same fate. Calculated, overwhelming, and utterly humiliating. The barn had been defended, the HOA had been thwarted, and my family's sovereignty over our land remained unchallenged. For now, peace returned, but in Brentshire, peace is always temporary. A mere pause before the next ridiculous, ill-fated attempt at control. And when it came, we would be ready.